Welcome back. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to learn two more chords. You already know E minor and you're messing around with that one. And now I want you to learn A minor, E major, and A minor. E major and A minor, okay? So you can go into the chord library for a video detailed description on that, but I'm going to show you a couple things because this is just your second and third chords. I want to show you a few things. I'm going to pull the camera in tight just to make sure your technique is strong. Remember, we're building a foundation here, and this is going to give you the best technique, and you're never going to have to undo any bad habits later. So it's important that you're really building solid fundamentals here, and that's why I'm spending some extra time on it before I just unleash you into the chord library and say, okay, go learn this, 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 and this, okay? Alright, so now remember, E major and A minor are the chords you're going to learn next. So these are open position chords. Remember, we're learning our first batch of open position. You learn E minor, major, and minor chords. Open position, I think I mentioned this before, meaning there's at least one open string ringing when you play the chord. At least one, some two, some three, some four. Like in E minor that you know, that's you're fingering two frets, you're fingering the notes, the B note and the E note, but the rest of it is you have the four open strings ringing. If you go down all six strings, open, second fret, open, open, open. So there's four open strings. So that's why you'll hear the term open position chords, and that's what we're going to do for a good while, as opposed to bar chords, which we're going to get to later. Bar chords is where you're barring across 5 strings or 6 strings with one finger, and you're playing a chord like here's a G bar chord. Now I'm barring that with my first finger, barring across all 6. I'm making that one finger bar. That's what's called a bar chord. And there's bar major and minor and 7th and minor 7th, and we'll get into all those. Now the bar chord's going to come later because that takes a little more strength to build up in your fingers, which we are going to work on. So for now we're working with these open position chords. And if you're playing a lot of acoustic guitar especially, you're going to be playing a lot more open chords as opposed to bar chords, but you're going to need them both. Okay? So without further ado, is that the word, Tim? Ado? I don't even know what that. How would you spell that? Ado. Certainly not A-D-E-W. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So the two chords you're going to learn next are E major and A minor. And I want to just again, now we go over this in the chord video, but I'm just giving you a little double stuff here, double hit of instruction just to build the proper foundation. Now you know E minor, okay, right? And that's what you've been practicing, and you remember your technique. The wrist is down, the fingers are cupped, you're on your fingertips, the thumb is anchored in the back of the neck, and you're pressing down with the fingertips not flattened out, and you're not hitting any of the other strings, and you're getting that nice crisp sound, the pinky hitching a ride on the third finger, right? Okay. To play an E major chord, you're going to play those same 2 notes, but we're going to do it with the second and third fingers instead of the first and second. So you're going to play those 2 because we need the first finger to play another note, which is going to be this note right here. That's a G sharp at the, and that is the first fret at the on the G string. And that's the note you're going to play, making it an E major. And remember too, when you're playing these, like I said, you try to finger the chord right up, or finger the note right up behind the fret, not way back here. Okay, you want to try to be close. Now where you have multiple fingers, obviously in one fret, then some of the fingers are going to be back further. But if it's just one or so, you want to always try to be up close to that fret. Okay? So, instead of your first and second finger, and I'm just pulling my other 2 fingers out of the way so you could see this better. To play E major, you're going to use your second and third, and you're going to put your first on that G sharp note. Okay? So you get this. There's that G sharp, and there's like an E minor chord. Again, look at the pinky. Nice and tucked in. And that's E major. And it should sound like this. All 6 strings. Remember, play them one at a time to get the chord to ring out properly. Make sure it is. If you get this, uh-oh. Hear that? Dead strings, buzzy strings. That's because my one finger's flattened and it's hitting. So you're going to have to work at getting this chord to sound really good. Let me just give you another shot of this, and you'll see this in the chord video library too. And again, here's the chord, E major. Okay. There's one more look. Okay? Look at that technique. Okay. Now the next chord I want you to learn is A minor. And you'll be surprised to know that the A minor is basically exactly the same shape. Or when you finger a chord, that's called you voice the chord. Voice. Same voicing. Except you just drop everything down one string. E major, A minor. So when you go and learn A minor from the chord library, you're going to learn that you're going to use basically the same exact fingers, same shape. And in fact, when we're changing chords, this is going to be a very important principle that you're going to learn soon. It's called clustering. You leave your hand in the same cluster or voicing on some chords. But A minor basically just is going to look like this. Like an E major, but everything is down one string. And you don't play the low E. In fact, I'm going to mute it with my thumb by touching it, which I'm going to teach you how to do that in a later module. Because on some of these chords, it's going to be very hard to miss the low E string when you're playing it. When you actually, a lot of the chords at first, like A, and you're going to learn C and D, you're not going to play the low E string. How do you not play it? Well, you're going to mute it, and I'm going to teach you how to do that. So A minor looks like that. Again, look at the pinky, fingers cupped, right? And then here's the sound of an A minor chord. Here are all 5 notes. I'm not playing the low E. And that's what it should sound like. Okay, so I'll see you in the next module, and I want you to go and learn the A minor and E major chord. Okay, and then we're going to go on from there. See you in the next module. Take care.